Challenges will always be there. First of all, I'll break down the challenges in every aspect. Like a challenge as a peer educator, you might be invited to go speak to people who are not even interested in listening, or you don't even have the outcome of exactly what you've been educating people. Like we've been talking about stigma a lot, and trying to show people like this is not, it's just a condition, it's nothing, it's just a problem with your immune system, it's no big deal. But still, you'll find people stigmatizing and discriminating people. Those are challenges, because you find out at the end of the day, you have not reached the target you wanted to. There are also challenges, especially when disclosing. You disclose to someone, especially people who are not public. Well, before I was public, I could say you disclose to someone who is going to portray you out there. You know, when the disclosure is coming from someone else apart from the person infected, it comes out in a bad way, rather than when it's coming from you as an individual. Because when someone is disclosing about your status to someone else, they have bad intentions when they are doing so, most of the times. There are also challenges, especially when it comes to dating. You find out that when you're dating, most of the times when you're dating someone, they think that they can treat you anyhowly because they've accepted you for your condition. There are also challenges when it comes to when you're out in public like this, people think you're being paid or you're working for someone. We're usually not doing this because you're getting paid or we are getting something out of it. We are doing this because you know where you've been, you know what you've been through, and you're fighting for someone out there who doesn't have a voice, who is not bold enough to speak out for themselves. Because you've been there, you've had enough. That's when we come out, that's when we do this. We don't get anything out of it. So those are one of the few challenges that I personally that I have encountered, among others. I'm looking forward to having 0 infections, especially mother-to-child transmission. It's so sad that at this age and era, there are still children who are born positive. Not even born, because I've come to realize it's the negligence of the parents. I have people who have come to me and they're like, my child just tested positive. And you're like, what happened? Did you used to go to the clinic? There are people who neglect clinics. When you get pregnant, you're supposed to switch. There is a special place where you're supposed to be taken, and they can also switch you to the medications. They give you medications that you're supposed to take to prevent the child from getting infected, and after you've given birth. I used to think it's the doctors who are negligent and the nurses, because do you follow up on these people? Why are children still be getting born positive at this age and era? And they told me, no, do your research well. It's these parents that they are so ignorant. You try and tell someone don't breastfeed or don't do this, and they still do. Of which we are allowed to breastfeed, but under a condition. There are drugs you are given, but still find someone who's not taking their drugs well. They are not adhering, and they are still breastfeeding this kid. They are also not giving them the necessary or required drugs. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to 0 infections, especially mother to child, since that's how I got infected. Also, among teenagers, they are the hardest to talk to. Actually, they are the hardest, because I've come across people who are like, hey, me, nipate ukimwi kuliko mimba. And then I'm like, this is not easy. I know you see me living happily and such, but it's not easy. It's not easy to, you click at a certain time and you're like, I haven't taken my drugs. or I forgot my drugs and such. It's not easy. So that's what I usually tell them. Yes, we are living happily and we are okay and such, but it's not easy to start remembering some things that you're not even supposed to be remembering. So it's not as easy as everyone thinks. So that's what I'm looking forward to. That's the future I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to giving birth to HIV negative free children, and I'm looking forward to living in a normal marriage like everyone else, and showing everyone else that you can still live normally like the rest of the people who are HIV negative. Thank you for asking that question. That's a very important question that no one bothers asking. No, they are not doing enough. They are not doing enough because currently there's a stock out. There's a stock out of drugs that are called septrins. People are crying out there for septrins. These drugs are supposed to prevent opportunistic infections. We normally say HIV doesn't kill. These other infections are the ones that kills, because HIV is basically the problem with low immunity system. And these drugs are supposed to it's like the way you have food, a balanced diet, supposed to assist you. So these drugs, septrins, they are supposed to assist ARVs. They are supposed to help you from preventing opportunistic infections, and they are out of stock. They are out of stock, and people are being recommended to go buy them. Not everyone can buy them. And it's so sad that also there is a time there was a stock out of nevirapines. I don't know how far this has gotten. Nevirapines are drugs that are supposed to be given to children who are born by a HIV positive parent. They are supposed to prevent children from getting infected. There was a time there was also a stock out of the same. And then I was like, if they rule out these drugs, there is going to come a point that they are going to also rule out ARVs, and you have to buy them. And not everyone can buy these drugs. They are so expensive. So I feel like they are not doing enough for people who are living with HIV. Public hospitals, they are given for free. I've gone to private hospitals where the box, they give us a container. A container is 50 shillings. You're supposed to be given for 3 months normally if you don't have a problem. There is someone who wouldn't find that amount of money because they also don't have something to eat. There are people who prefer buying drugs than buying food, because these drugs they are actually your lifeline. You're supposed to take them. They're supposed to keep you going. Again, these drugs are not helping you if you're taking them without food. So yeah, a bottle is 50 shillings. That's a private hospital that I know. I don't know about the others, but the others which go for further. But I feel those who go to private hospitals, or which I don't blame them, they also don't want to be. They are like hiding out, which is okay. But I feel they're also supposed to be given for free. Risky behavior. Those who are HIV positive, if you're dating a HIV positive person, you're also HIV positive, and you feel like you've arrived, trust me, that person, you have to go get tested. You have to know. Let me first go somewhere with if you are in a relationship where you are being cheated on, and you really know you're being cheated on, you are risking your life first of all, because even though both of you are HIV positive, there are also sexually transmitted diseases. One can go out there and collect something you didn't even have before, and that's going to be your end game. There are also people who are HIV negative and they think they are okay. You also have to get tested, and you have to go after every 3 months, especially if you know what you've been doing. And if not that, use protection. They are free. You can also reach out to me if you want some. But this risky behavior, my friend, HIV is real, especially this opportunistic infection, especially sexually transmitted diseases. They are worse. I've seen people with herpes. Trust me, it's worse than HIV. it's worse. So those people will go around sleeping around and such. Even if you think you're clean, it only takes one night. My social media handles: Facebook is Jayna, Jayna. Twitter the same, Janet Jayna. Instagram is call me Jayna, call_me_Jayna. Yes.